And I want to remind everybody before I bring Karla Treadway in for a little conversation that Susan and I are participating in the third annual Reclaiming Canada conference next week. It's June 21st to 23rd in Victoria, British Columbia. It's almost sold out. I think it is sold out, but they're switching the tickets over for you to attend virtually. It's virtual attendance. Get your virtual tickets at weunify.ca. weunify.ca. This conference is important. It's a way to bring together leaders from government, digital platforms, media, academia, civil society to address real disinformation and censorship. Goal is to come up with a strategy to thwart Canada's direction, get them to reclaim democracy. For more information, go to weunify.ca, and you'll get to see many of the subjects that you've seen on this podcast, including Dr. McCullough, Dr. Reish, and some really exciting guests there. Let's bring Karla Treadway in, who's part of the organization, to tell us her story, which is interesting. Karla, thank you for sitting by and so patiently, and we appreciate you being here. So tell us your story and what happened and what you do now and how you got involved with Unify.
Oh man. So I thought owning my own business was my ticket to freedom. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life, and I had this thriving yoga and fitness studio in my community, which got taken down during the pandemic because we were forced to close pretty much off and on for about 18 months here in Canada. And I didn't realize how vulnerable I was. So now I teach people how to bulletproof their businesses. I do a lot of activist work, I guess, in this movement, trying to talk about the things that are happening in Canadian government, our financial system, healthcare. I really had my eyes widened in 2020. I thought Canada was this perfect little country, to be honest. I thought I didn't really have to keep a close eye on our politicians. I thought we were just a nice country where there was nothing to worry about. And man, was I wrong.
Were you an anomaly? Were you a minority in some way in coming to this conclusion? Or are there, obviously there's a bunch of truckers that feel like this, but are there a lot of Canadians that are sort of waking up?
There are a lot of Canadians waking up. However, because we essentially have state-controlled media, which most Canadians don't realize, a lot of people aren't waking up. And I think the only thing that actually will fully wake everyone up is when they start to personally suffer. And I think we're getting there. So the trucker movement was huge. It did wake up a lot of people. But mostly it made those of us who were already awake know that we weren't alone, because we really thought we were all alone. And I don't know if you know, like in Canada, for me to watch the news, for example, on social media, I have to use a VPN. If I try and go to any kind of independent news media on social media, I get a big sign that says, you can't watch this content in Canada. These are the kind of things that our politicians are creating. They are literally blocking the news, saying that they're
Sounds like North Korea.
It is. I mean, the worst bill that they're trying to put through right now would be the Online Harms Act. And what they're framing it is something that's going to protect children from online harm. But what it actually is anything that they deem as hate speech can be punishable by house arrest, up to life imprisonment. And here's the kicker: financial incentives for people that report on their neighbors, even if they haven't done it yet. So you, Dr. Drew, could receive financial compensation for things that I might say under this bill. It hasn't passed yet, but these are the kind of things that our government is trying to pass right now. It's very 1984. It's very North Korea. And most Canadians are completely oblivious to what's going on.
Do people not appreciate, not only is it North Korea 1984, but it's Germany 1938. This is the Hitler Youth. This is how Nazism got a toehold, was neighbors reporting neighbors, and these purity pledges and all this stuff. Do they not realize what's happening? They just don't know?
No, 100%. There's a book out there called They Thought They Were Free, and it's the lead up to the Holocaust. It's the very early stages, just like you're referring to. Like I remember the first time reading that book, and I just thought that that's happening. First, they took control of medicine, then the educational institutions, then radio. This is how they do it. And most people are turning a blind eye because they're comparing now to the Holocaust, to the end result instead of the beginning stages.
Mm-hmm. Which is, I was interviewing a psychology couple here, and the wife was was a Canadian, and she goes, Canadians are sheep. And I went, what? She goes, they're very nice, and they are nice, but don't get that wrong. They're also very passive, and they're very much sort of just go along to get along. They're sheep. How do you change that? And I mean, let's put it this way: are very few people business owners, and is that why so few people were affected so personally the way you were?
That's a good question. I think the government has grown itself by over 300% at the moment. So when you hear Trudeau talking about how the economy has grown, it's because he's using more taxpayer dollars to grow his government. So there are a lot of people with government jobs, social work jobs that are getting paid by the government. So I guess it's you don't bite the hand that feeds you.
And my understanding is you now help people create businesses that are protected and autonomous. How do you do that? Where do you do that?
I do. So originally I lost my brick and mortar. I rebuilt myself online before I really had a good understanding of what was happening. When I understood what was happening in politics and healthcare and with the vaccines, then I started saying horrific things online, like we shouldn't judge people for their medical decisions, which lost me every dollar in the bank, every client, lost everything again. But now I've rebuilt 10 times better, 10 times the amount of income, impact by really leaning into truth and gathering people that align with my values. So I help people a few different ways. One, just really practically getting into the online space is a better place to be. We are vulnerable if we have brick and mortars. The lockdowns work so well. I don't mean they worked for healthcare. I mean, they worked well for the government and everybody listened to the rules. I don't doubt that they wouldn't try something like that again. But the next part actually is, how do you then bulletproof your online business? You can't just have your stuff on social media or YouTube. I've been taken off of YouTube multiple times. I could lose my social media channels like that with these new hate speech bills. Like I'm probably going to jail. So that means I have to have a really strategic marketing plan outside of social media where I actually own the digital real estate. Otherwise, I'm still vulnerable. And then, of course, there's making money in multiple different ways, but also investing and saving your money in different ways, gold and silver, cryptocurrencies, that kind of thing. We are in wild times, and I never thought I'd be focused on this kind of material, but it's good adulting right now. We kind of have to. And similar to Patrick, I like to have one foot in like preparedness, awareness, and then the other foot is on thriving, living my life, enjoying my life. But you kind of need to do both in 2024.
I like the way Karla goes, thriving, just thriving, what I'm supposed to be doing. And do people you consult? Do people go somewhere to get your services? And where do they go?
Yeah, I have an online community called the Sovereign CEO Academy, where I have online courses that can support people. I coach in there every single week. I run a quarterly mastermind, and I work with individuals one-to-one. And I also have a podcast where I give people tools and strategies that they can apply for free. And then I also bring on great guests like you, other people in medicine, politics, everyone that's solutions minded. I try and bring these people to the show because it's one thing to highlight all the problems, but I like to focus on all the solutions because I think there's actually plenty right now.
Yes. And the name of the podcast
is the Sovereign CEO.
So the Sovereign CEO. And what is your X? We have the we_Unify on X for people that are interested. Also, weunify.ca, as I said. But for you personally, for Karla, what's your X handle?
Oh, that's the yeah.
Uh-oh.
When we
There you
unify,
go.
when we unify came along, it was just something that I had to go and support. It's the first real tangible thing I've seen since the convoy. It's run well. It's professional. This isn't a protest. This isn't a freedom event. This is a solutions conference. And I love that the organizers here are focused on building bridges, on building solutions. And in fact, we've made a real concerted effort with this event to invite all political parties, to invite legacy media. And of course, guess what? Legacy media doesn't want to come. The Liberals, the NDP, I guess Canada's Democrats, none of them will come, which is just a glaring, obvious example that their policies aren't based in truth or reality, because people with really good ideas are willing to debate. And I think most Canadians are probably reasonable, critical thinking people in the middle, not with a strong right or left bias, but it's really scary what's happening. People are being funneled to the left or the right, unable to hear each other. And we really need to be able to have conversations. So we're still encouraging legacy media, parties from the left to come and join us. All respectful debate is welcome. We would love to have you come and bring your ideas. If they're good ideas, surely you will come and debate them with us.
And Karla, we missed your X handle. Where can they follow you on X?
I'm at the Sovereign CEO.
That's the X. Okay. Well, listen, I appreciate you being here, and we look forward to meeting you in Canada and British Columbia. Thank you for joining us here and for supporting the program and for the work you do for your small business colleagues out there.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me on. And lots of online tickets available. So if you can't join us live, come and join us online. You're going to hear a lot of good solutions that you can actually put into action after this event.
There it is. Thank you so much, Karla.
Thank you.